Good morning, everybody, and this week we've had quite a bit of news come out in the gaming world, and I thought we would just talk about a couple things that at least I'm interested in next. Welcome back, and today we're going to talk about Battlefield V possibly being delayed. Officially being delayed now, and then Spider-Man and the possible downgrades that game has received. The gameplay is going to be Star Wars Battlefront 2 because I don't have access to Battlefield V or Spider-Man yet. They haven't come out. And then also right now we're just going to start with talking a little bit about Star Wars Battlefront 2 because I really do enjoy that game, and I honestly feel like there's been kind of a renewed energy in the community with the updated roadmap. Now that might just be myself and the people that I talk to. That's always a possibility since my sample size is rather small and limited. But I for one am a little bit more energized and revitalized for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm excited for the new heroes coming out. I'm excited to know when they're coming. And I'm also excited for the new Geonosis map to be coming to Galactic Assault when I initially thought that it wouldn't and would only be for the new large-scale game mode. So I'm really excited for that and the new vehicles and everything. So that's really hyping me up for Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I've been having quite a bit more fun with the game now that I've kind of been re-energized with new information and new content. But a lot of it does seem to be coming out at the time when new games will be releasing this year. So originally I thought October would kind of be a rough month for me since Battlefield V was going to come out on October 19th, I believe, and then we were supposed to be getting a whole lot of content for Star Wars Battlefront 2 in October as well. Well, the content for Battlefront 2 is remaining, but Battlefield V has officially been pushed back to November 20th for anyone who doesn't have the deluxe edition. So there's a lot of rumors going around that they moved it back because they were scared of the release date that they had picked. Originally it went Black Ops 4, Battlefield V, and then Red Dead Redemption. So Battlefield V was kind of in between two major large selling titles for an October release. It's not really facing that much competition in November when they pushed it back, which is great for Battlefield V. It means it'll probably sell better in November than it would have in October, just because the field's not as crowded for games coming out and people will have more money to spend on video games and not feel like they're dropping, $60 a week. Now, if you ask EA, they'll say that they moved it back mainly because they want to finish polishing off the game and make adjustments to the game that were brought up in the beta that's about to start next week on September 4th if you have the early access, or if you don't, then you'll be able to play on September 6th. And one thing that EA has been doing quite a bit of, we saw it with Battlefront 2, and we're seeing it again with Battlefield V, they listen to what the community has to say in their betas and make adjustments to it. So for those of you who played the Battlefront 2 beta, since primarily my channel is Battlefront 2 at this point, a lot of people only play Battlefront 2, and I get that, so that's why we're going back to that. Well, so Battlefront 2, the beta for that, the specialist was super overpowered, so the infiltration would refresh every kill, it would refresh to full, and then you'd have scrambled built in, you'd have hardened built in. Infiltration was awesome in the beta. It was way too strong. Now, a lot of people complained about that, and infiltration was nerfed for the release. Now, granted, it was nerfed a little too much, but still, EA listened to what the community had to say, and they changed some things in the game in order to better suit the community. They also moved on Naboo, where the beta map was. They moved the rocket launchers at the end of phase 1, so it wasn't as easy for the clones to win. So EA has shown that they do listen, or DICE at least, has shown that they do listen to what we have to say in the beta, and they do make adjustments based off that. So with the beta coming out in September, this gives them at least one full month to be able to make those changes and give us a better product when Battlefield V releases. Also, Battlefields have a long history of very crappy launch days. So Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, from what I remember, had horrible launches. They were laggy, they were buggy, they were really rough. Love those games though, don't get me wrong, they were great games, and I still like to go back into the Battlefield 4 every once in a while. You have to go into a custom match, but that's another topic for another day. So with this month of extra time, hopefully we'll be able to get a better polished and smoother release, and honestly, I think it was a good move. That's not just because I was going to be out of town October 19th and I'm in town November 20th, but I think it's a good move overall. So I'm happy they moved it back to give themselves more time. And it does take a lot to be able to say, our game's not ready yet, we need an extra month. So I'm going to look at the positive. You can look at the negative if you'd like, but I'm going to look at the positive and say it's a good thing. So let's move on to Spider-Man. So Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, there has been photos released from Dreamcast Guy. Now, you're going to find a link to his channel up on the icons on the top right-hand side of your screen right now. So be sure to check his channel out. He does amazing game reviews. I actually really like this guy's channel. I've been a fan of him for quite a while. So make sure to check out Dreamcast Guy. And recently on Twitter, he has posted 2 pictures because he has early access to Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, so he's playing it now. He posted 2 pictures, one from the trailer and one from the current in-game. And as you can see from these 2 photos, the graphics have been downgraded from the trailer to the actual released product. Now, Insomniac apparently is saying that it's because they changed the lighting and they changed the time of day for the mission. But if you look at it, clearly there's less detail and less shadows all around on the in-game version of this photo. Now, in 2018, it's a known fact, and if you don't know it already, let me let you know. What you see in the trailer as for gameplay footage, and I'm saying that with air quotes, gameplay footage is not representative of what you're going to see when you actually get your hands on the game. Now, this varies from company to company. Some companies do horrible amounts of downgrading, or they do a ton of downgrading. Like if you look at Ubisoft, for example, just look up in YouTube Rainbow Six Siege downgraded graphics, and you'll see probably some of the largest downgraded graphics I've ever seen in a game. Ubisoft does this for every single one of their games. They pump it super high up that they have these amazing graphics and amazing visuals, and then when you actually get your hands on the game, it's more in line with what's actually possible. And for Spider-Man, I kind of view that this is the same way. What you see on the trailers, while yes, it misrepresents the product, and I understand the frustration there, they run the game on the highest possible settings on the best possible PC when they run these trailer footages. So the graphics are by far going to be better than what you see on a console. Now, if they eventually ever port this game over to PC, they'll probably be able to get similar look to what's in the trailer, but on console, we're kind of limited by the hardware that's available. So with that, if you're ever watching a trailer and you look at the graphics in that trailer and you say, oh my god, that looks better than anything on the market, at that point, you need to take a step back and think, the game is most likely not going to appear that good when I get my hands on it. I know it sucks to hear that, and it sucks to say it, but that is the truth of gaming. Companies are going to pump up the game and make it look better in the trailers than what you're actually going to see when you get your hands on it. Is it right? Probably not. Is it something that doesn't need to happen? I mean, if they played their actual game and they showed the actual gameplay, I still think the game would sell well, but let's be honest, it probably wouldn't sell as well. So I get why companies do it. Still don't agree with it, but it is a thing, and it is what companies tend to do in order to make those sales. So in the comments, tell me what you think. Do you think moving Battlefield V back to November 20th was a good idea? Do you think Spider-Man got downgraded pretty hard? Are you re-energized for Star Wars Battlefront 2? Let me know down in the comments below. And then also, I just wanted to give everyone a heads up because I don't want to make any drastic changes on this channel without warming you guys into it, so that way it's not so much of a shock. Now next week, starting on the 4th, the Battlefield V beta is going to release. So all next week on the streams on the 4th and on the 6th, because I've already pre-ordered the deluxe edition of Battlefield V since I love the Battlefield games, I will be playing Battlefield V on the streams on the 4th and on the 6th. And then most likely there will be a Battlefield V stream sometime during the weekend. The week after that, we'll be playing Spider-Man. So I'm going to start Spider-Man a couple days late because I want to make sure I get enough time and some good time in on the Battlefield V beta. And then I'll be playing Spider-Man the next week on the streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that way you guys can get a peek at what Spider-Man brings to the table and has to offer you. I know most of the time my single player game streams don't do that well, but that's okay. If you want to hang out with me and just chat, I would love to talk with you guys. I love having you guys around. I love chatting with you. Honestly, I have made so many good friends off this channel. I like hanging out with you guys, so please come join me for that. So it's gonna be a week or two of no Star Wars Battlefront 2 streams. Now I'll probably still do Battlefront 2 videos. There are going to be some videos around the games that I'm currently playing at the time. Like, we will see Battlefield V videos, we will see Spider-Man videos, mainly because my time is limited since I do have 2 kids and a wife and a full-time job, and I do need to sleep occasionally. I don't get to play as much as I would like. But I just wanted to let you guys know, so that way in the next couple weeks you're not like, what happened to Battlefront 2? And I'm like, well, you know, I like playing other games too. But we will be coming back to Battlefront 2 after we get through Spider-Man, before Battlefield V actually releases, since I'm not buying any games in October apparently this year. I'm waiting for Red Dead to go on sale. That's all I have. I appreciate you guys listening through this last like 2 minutes or minute and a half or whatever this was of me rambling about the future and right now. So if you've made it this far, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you in game.